AI, AI, AI. It's everywhere. From Elon Musk's new robots to self-checkout stores to the new iPhones, you can't throw a rock without hitting something that's powered by AI. I'm George, and I'm here to help you pass a new AI certification. What am I talking about? If you work in IT or you want to, there's a brand new certification that I believe can help you stay ahead of the curve. It's called the Certified AWS AI Practitioner. It's a foundational level cert, which means that you don't need any previous experience to be able to handle this test. I've passed every AWS certification, all 12 of them, and I even got a gold jacket for it. And I want to take what I've learned and help you pass this one. I believe this is a perfect challenge for somebody who wants to start in AI. You don't have to create your own chat GPT or land on Mars to pass this test, but the journey is going to teach you how to be conversant in AI so you can understand how these systems are built, how to talk to anybody about it, and then if you want to go deeper into your career, this is the perfect springboard for it. I like to start for any test with a practice exam. Just kind of figure out where the gaps are, where do I need to focus my study as I start, and also to get an idea for like, what are you really going to be facing on test day? So there's a really good one on AWS's Skill Builder site that's free, and I'll put a link in the description. This is going to give you a baseline. Don't worry if you don't score too good on your first time. I didn't. And it's also not too long. It's about 20 questions. But the important part is that this is going to give you an idea of what test day will be like. I'm also going to be making videos on this channel every week to help you with questions that I write that are going to be very similar to what you face on test day. I'll use them as a springboard to be able to walk through all the concepts and learn what you need to know. Second, you want to get course material. Okay, you need courses to build up your base. For this one, I use Stefan Marek's course and his practice questions too, as well as other materials and courses on Skill Builder, and I'll put links for all of those in the description too. Try to also get some hands-on experience too in the AWS console, and I'll put details on all that. This is something that I challenge you to start today. If you can dedicate about an hour a day, I believe you can be ready for this in around a month. If you have some experience in IT, maybe even less. So set a date, challenge yourself, and stick to it. So what do you think? Are you ready to grow? Do you want to learn AI? Let me know in the comments what kind of material you'd like to see on the channel, and I'd love to chat about it. Till then, good luck, and see you next time. I'm not teaching AI today, a sandwich is. That's right, I'm going to teach you about artificial intelligence using the power of a sandwich. Are you ready? Let's take a look at the first AI question. Which AI branch is focused on creating new content? Is it A, deep learning? Is it going to be machine learning? Is it going to be artificial intelligence or generative AI? What do you think? It's D, generative AI, and here's why. Think of artificial intelligence as the whole sandwich. This big guy's goal is to satisfy your hunger, and AI's big goal is to solve complex problems and do things that normally require human intelligence. It's the big picture, bringing all the ingredients together into one tasty solution. Now, machine learning is like the bread holding everything together. You need it to give structure to the sandwich, just like ML is going to provide the foundation for AI by learning from data. This is how machines learn and adapt, like a self-driving car or your social media feed. You can choose different kinds of bread, like your sourdough or rye, just like ML can use different techniques like supervised or unsupervised learning. Remember this one, it'll come up later. Now, deep learning, that's like the juicy, delicious filling inside the sandwich. Your veggies, meats, cheeses, all that good stuff. This is going to give the sandwich more depth, just like deep learning brings more advanced capabilities to the AI. This is deep in the sandwich, and it's deep in AI, simulating the way our brains work with neural networks. Finally, we've got generative AI, the secret sauce. It adds that unique, creative touch, something unexpected and delightful. It takes a sandwich to the next level, and it's also a big leap forward in AI systems. Now they can create new content like text, pictures, or music. If you mix up a sauce each time you make a sandwich, it's never going to be 100% the same each time. The flavors always be just slightly different. Generative AI is the same way. It will always give a slightly different response or creation. Bonus, this principle is called non-determinism. Remember that one for later. Now, I'm going to go make a sandwich. Stay tuned for the next lesson. Welcome back, learners. It's time for question 2 to find out how machines learn. Let's go. Which of the following best describes the primary difference between supervised and unsupervised learning in machine learning? Is it A, supervised learning uses labeled data for training, while unsupervised learning uses unlabeled data? Or could it be B, supervised learning clusters data into groups, while unsupervised predicts outcomes based on input features? Or is supervised used for image recognition while unsupervised is used for language translation? Or could it be that supervised models are deterministic while unsupervised models are non-deterministic? What do you think? It's A. Supervised learning uses labeled data for training while unsupervised learning uses unlabeled data. And let's see why. Think of it like you're teaching a kid math. If you give them a worksheet where every problem has the answer written next to it, that's supervised learning. You're guiding them by showing them both the problem and the solution, so they can learn from these examples. Now, if you give them a bunch of problems with no answers and they have to figure out the patterns on their own, that's unsupervised learning. Distractor B said that supervised learning clusters the data, but that's not actually what unsupervised learning does. It's more like giving the kid a bunch of random toys and saying, sort these into groups, without telling them how. No labels, just patterns to discover. The other one says supervised learning is used for image recognition and the other one for language translation, which isn't really true. This is more about labeled versus unlabeled data, not what kind of problems they solve. And then D says supervised learning is deterministic, while unsupervised is non-deterministic. Nope, both of them can use both behaviors, so that's really not the key difference here. Well, that's it for question 2. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. What's up, AI learners? Welcome back to the channel. It's time for question 3, and today we're tackling determinism. What does it mean, and why should you care? Let's dive in. What does non-determinism in AI models refer to? Is it A, the ability of AI models to always produce the same output given the same input? Or B, the randomness in AI models where the same input produces different outputs? Or C, AI models that are based on deterministic algorithms like sorting and searching? Or could it be D, the failure of AI models to learn from data due to lack of sufficient training examples? What do you think? If you're thinking B, then you are correct. Let's find out why. Non-determinism in AI refers to randomness, where the same input can give you different outputs. Imagine you're flipping a coin. Even though the coin is the same, each flip might land heads or tails. Similarly, some AI models introduce randomness during inference, like when you're training with stochastic processes or dropouts. So even if you put the same data in, you might get a bit of a different result. Now let's look at some of the distractors. A says that AI always gives the same output given the same input. That would be deterministic, like a calculator. Every time you ask it 2 plus 2, it's going to give you 4. But AI models don't always work that way. C mentions deterministic algorithms like sorting and searching. These are classical algorithms, but they're not relevant to the non-determinism discussion in modern AI models, which it relies a lot of times on randomness for things like training neural networks. D says non-determinism is due to the model failing to learn. This just isn't true. Non-determinism doesn't mean the model failed, it's an intentional behavior. It actually helps models generalize better during tasks like training, so it's a feature, not really a bug. Look at it this way. It's like rolling dice. Even though the dice are the same, every roll can produce different results. That's non-determinism in action. AI can act the same way when it introduces randomness to improve performance or to avoid machine learning problems like overfitting. You get a bit of unpredictability, but it's often by design. So let's get a little hands-on example. We're going to go ahead and jump into the AWS console, go to Amazon Bedrock, which is their service to build your own AI apps. We'll go into the chat and text playground. I'm going to do a single prompt. Select Titan Text G1 for this example. And we're going to ask it, tell me a joke about a robot. Let's try that. So they have a data cleansing hangover. That's weird. Let's see what happens when we do it again. What do you call a robot that's good at solving mysteries? A detect bot. All right, not bad. Let's try it again. What do you call a robot that steals your lunch? A bite napper. Okay. So you could see it does not give you the same answer each time. It's actually totally different. And this is something that you can tweak with these settings here, which we're going to get more in depth in a future lesson. All right. So as we can see here, I've used Amazon Bedrock to interact with one of the foundational models. I've given the same input multiple times. Tell me a joke about a robot. Now notice that even though the input doesn't change, the output changes each time. That's non-determinism at work. The model introduces a bit of randomness. So even with the same input, the result gets slightly different each time. This kind of behavior is pretty common in Gen AI models, and it helps them come up with more creative responses. All right. Hope you enjoyed this question. Stay tuned for the next one, and let's keep learning.